We are back. I want everybody to go get a pencil and piece of paper. We're going to give you some tips on what to do, what to look for IT professionals. And I've got the master here that's going to help us with that list. I'm also here with Danny Decker, the founder of Marketing Simplified. Steve is the founder of Proactive IT. Steve, let's do this, buddy. Let's give me the top 5 things you think small business people should consider when hiring an IT person, because we really don't know what that is. And I'm going to start the list by saying Julie has already put on Facebook, CISA Division of Department of Homeland Security does have a more detailed list that they can go to. Thank you for giving us that information. I did not know that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So let's do that. Let's give me a number one. I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, there are a million questions, but let's go with a few that if your current IT provider or IT resources can't answer, that's a huge red flag.
Okay.
Number one, you asked me about backup and recovery.
Right.
So if they've never asked you how fast you need to recover, that's a red flag, right? Do you need it in an hour? Do you need it in a day? Is 3 days okay? Is a week okay, right? It depends on your business needs. And so if somebody is building you backups and recovery and they haven't asked you that question, huge red flag, because then
I wouldn't know to ask the timing.
Ask the question.
So backup speed is one question.
Well, how much time it takes to come back from a disaster, right? Because
you say, Joe, if it takes them 3 months, it's not good backup, right?
Yeah. So, but here's the thing, Joe. There are businesses that would tell me the answer to that question is it costs. I've got a manufacturer here in Statesville. It costs them $20,000 an hour to be down. So their answer to the question is I can't be down, and so I build them something so they can't be down, right? I've got lawyers, tons of attorneys practices, right? They might be okay with a day, some. The bigger ones, they say, no, Steve, an hour, tops, right? Because if my people aren't billing at $300, $400, $500 an hour,
right,
we're losing that money, right? That's thousands of dollars an hour for a 10 or 20 attorney firm, right? So they might think that. Or I have customers that are like, you know what? We do most of our stuff by paper. All we do is accounting on our computers. 3 days is fine. I don't want to pay a lot of money to recover faster than that. The important point is, if they haven't asked you a question about what your business needs, that's something to really go,
Okay.
Right?
Number two.
So everybody understands these days, or maybe they don't understand, but they all got them. Firewalls and antivirus software, right? Got to protect your computers. Okay. Every IT guy knows how to sell firewall and antivirus software.
Right.
Okay. So all of these compromises that we hear about in the news.
This is something I normally pay a monthly fee
for?
for?
You normally pay. Sometimes people sell it to you. Sometimes they pay a monthly fee. If they're selling it to you, that's something to go about. Because if you're buying a firewall, how do you know it's being kept up to date, right? It's all about those details, managing this stuff.
Right.
If you buy antivirus software, how do you know it's being kept up to date, right? So good questions. But the really important question is, because this is what's changed in the last 3 years, if someone gets onto my network, how do I know they're there? How do you, my IT provider, know they're there? And the answer is going to be, right? What do you mean?
I didn't know that you're supposed to know.
The pipeline attack that happened.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Right? What happened there?
So you wouldn't know unless I told you.
Yeah, but the problem is the government attack. The Russian operatives were on the federal government computers for months before they were discovered.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
But that's what happens. The last article I read, average dwell time for an attack. Dwell time means how long they were there before they discovered. 170 days.
Wow.
Right. So the question is, if someone gets past the firewall, I call this the castle wall conundrum, right? The castle wall issue. You build castle walls, but what if someone
over my moat?
Right.
Okay.
Someone got over your moat. What are you going to do? How do you know they got over the moat? And if they can't answer that question, that's something to make you go,
How do you know that my firewall has been broken?
Right. How do you know someone's gotten through and is on my computers or my server? How do you know?
Listen, that's a great. I wouldn't even know to ask the question.
Well, and that's what's changed.
Right.
This is where the road forks, right? You've got the people who aren't staying up to date with firewalls and antivirus, and that's what they think gets the job done, and cloud backups, and they think that's enough.
Right. I mean, my guy might say, well, I guess you'll call me and tell me you got a problem, and then we'll take a look at it, right? Might be a little too late.
So third question.
Okay, number 3.
If you have to call your IT person to tell them something's wrong, that's a problem.
Ooh, interesting.
They should know.
Interesting. Got me. Yeah. All right. You got another one? We've only got a couple of minutes.
I got a million of them. But so those are the, if you ask me where things are going wrong right now in all of the business that I interact with, number one, they typically don't have the kind of backup and recovery they think they have. They just assume that
most of us don't have any.
Yeah, they just.
As you're telling me this, I'm thinking I've got thousands of files of small business people on my computer I could not replace.
Well, if
I lost that would be a major problem for me.
Well, so my recommendation to you is make sure you get a backup this afternoon.
Yeah.
Because if you get cryptoed, it's gone and you're not getting it back.
Ooh. I just got Heather is listening, and she just put this. Oh my goodness, 107 days. Somebody is watching us, and we wouldn't know. That's just. Ugh.
And Steve, why is that? Why are they dwelling that long? Is it that they're just in the background collecting information, like setting the trap, or what are they doing?
That's exactly right. They're looking for what they can steal to leverage you. And so the three things that go on now is the obvious one. The software comes in, encrypts your stuff, and they ask you for Bitcoin, right? But what's happened is people have gotten smart about that, and most people are doing decent backups, and they just recover from backup and ignore the crypto attack, right? So now they get in there and they spend some time poking around. Maybe they can break your backups before they do the encryption so that your backups are broken and you don't know it. And of course, if your IT doesn't know and test your backups on a regular basis, nobody's going to know those backups are broken. And then after your backups have been broken for a while, then they attack you and you don't have a way to get around paying them the Bitcoin. The third thing is they come and they find important data and they steal the data. And then they send you an email and say, we're going to drag your reputation through the mud with all your clients and vendors if you don't pay us some Bitcoin, right? It's extortion.
That's a major problem. I mean, attorneys, accountants, bookkeepers, myself, we tell our clients this stuff is confidential.
Yeah.
Right? And so it would put us in a material problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's confidential until it isn't.
Right. Okay, we've only got a minute. I told them they were going to get 5. You owe me one more. Give me one more question.
Culture eats strategy for breakfast.
Ooh.
I've been wanting to say that all day.
Danny, that just tells me we are inspiring these people here today.
Absolutely.
So look, culture, my business culture is all about the details. And the details are how you make sure the firewall's working, how you make sure the antivirus working, how you make sure nobody's on the network that shouldn't be there. It takes a lot of attention and a lot of process to pull that off. Most small IT companies don't have the slightest idea how to do all that detail. And that's what makes us different.
My friend, thank you so much. What advice would you give small business people in the middle I hope it's at the end of this pandemic? Us three are sitting here, and we're pretty comfortable we're going to make it through, right? Do you have some advice you might give somebody that's really struggling right now, that just not sure if they're going to make it to the end of the year?
Holy cow, that's a big question. Take care of your people, because your people are everything.